We'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, our top story. It's about to cost a whole lot more to use a credit card instead of cash. A big settlement between retailers and credit card companies means stores will start charging you extra every time you swipe your credit card. And this all begins Sunday. Up until now, retailers paid that surcharge or swipe fee to the credit card companies directly. But now, stores will be allowed to pass the extra cost onto you, like a tax, up to 4% of the total cost of whatever you're buying. With us now, John Alzheimer, Consumer Education President for SmartCredit.com, and Ryan Mack, the President of Optimum Capital Management. Great to have you both here. John, I'll start with you. What do you make of this?
Yeah, this is really bad news for consumers. We're already getting nickel and dimed to death, and we're about to get nickel and dimed even more. Essentially what's happened, Jerry, is the fee that the merchant has to pay to accept a credit card, which is commonly called a swipe fee or an interchange fee. In the past, they haven't been able to charge a line item extra cost to the consumer to cover that. Well, starting this Sunday, they will be allowed to do so. That's the bad news. The worst news is that they've already baked in that fee in the price of the merchandise that you're buying. So now not only are they able to charge a fee on top of what you're already purchasing, but essentially you're paying the fee 2 times over. And those of us who are paying cash are really getting screwed because we're still paying the fee for people who are using credit cards.
You know, you can't get ahead on this. I'm going to show people some of the details here. First of all, Sunday, stores have to inform customers, and this is if you're an online merchant as well, debit and prepaid cards are exempt, and the top limit is 4%, as we said in the open. Ryan, to you, I can't imagine that this is a good time for Americans to face yet another fee.
I mean, again, as John said, we are getting nickel and dime to death. A lot of consumers are out there just trying to live check to check, net alone. And the problem that I have a concern with this legislation is that I've always suggested individuals use credit cards in order to establish credit, to use them to go and you pay, and after 7 days, pay off your bill. And this is a way of establishing credit. Now we have to pay another 4% just to do so. So what we're trying to say is we have to be educated. We have to educate ourselves. We have to, one, ask to see if they are charging an additional fee, figure out whether it might be appropriate to use card at that particular store, or start being mindful of different prices in different areas to say, if you're going to charge additional 4%,
look, I want to stay away from the store that's charging this and go to one that doesn't. At the end of the day, let's talk a little bit about some lucky people out there. There are about 10 states where this surcharge is going to be illegal. Texas, New York, California are the 3 of the biggest. So that's good news for some folks out there. But John, to you, look, to Ryan's point, credit cards, I know they're painted as the worst possible product ever, but the reality is consumers have certain protections when they use a credit card. What are they?
Yeah, the Fair Credit Billing Act. Credit cards get demonized completely inappropriately and extremely unfair. You have amazing protections under the Fair Credit Billing Act when you use a credit card, primarily fraud. If I steal your card and I use it without your permission, your liability is capped at $50 because of that act, and most credit card issuers won't even charge you that because they want to keep you as a customer. You can't say the same things about debit cards, and you can't say the same things about, especially the worst of all plastic, the prepaid debit card. It's almost like what they're doing, Jerry, is they're moving us into checkmate. Regardless of what move we end up making, whether it's prepaid debit, or credit, or cash even, it's going to end up costing us more. They're eliminating our trap doors so that we can actually save money by choosing how we choose to pay for things.
So well put. And Ryan,